Hi everybody. The culture that I chose to do is in Korea, which I'm sure you're all amazed about. Uh, why I didn't do Korean culture is that I already know a lot about that culture, and I felt like I wouldn't necessarily get the desired learning outcomes. So I chose a culture that I didn't know very much about before this assignment, and that is culture. That is the culture of Mexico. So Mexico has states instead of provinces, and actually has 31 states and one federal district. Mexico is the 12th largest country in the world, but the third largest in Latin America. The official language is Spanish, and there are 60 indigenous languages that are still spoken that are in from the indigenous population of Mexico. Mexico has over 100 million people, and a couple of quick fun facts about Mexico are that, I should say, is that Mexico is the largest Spanish speaking country. What I mean by that is they have the largest population of Spanish speakers. The full name of Mexico is the United Mexican States, and the capital is Mexico City. The official currency is pesos, and the Mexican borders, three countries: the U.S., Guatemala, and Belize. Belize and Guatemala are to the southeast, and of course the United States is to the north of Mexico. Mexico declared its independence from Spain in 1810, but it was not recognized until 1821. What I mean is Spain did not recognize the Mexican independence until 1821. The flag of Mexico, I'm going to show you here in just a second. This is the Mexican flag. The three colors in the Mexican flag showcase deep and powerful meanings in this culture. Green represents hope and victory, and white stands for the purity of core Mexican values, and red is a reminder of the blood that had been shed by brave individuals that have fought for their country. The emblem in the center is inspired by a famous Mexican legend. According to the legend, Aztecs who had traveled from Azcan were looking for a place that their people could settle and build their empire. The legend, according to the legend, the god Huitzilopochtli, I probably did not pronounce that right, but the spelling is in my notes that I will upload along with this video, advised the Aztec people that when they see an eagle eating a snake on top of the nopal cactus, this land is where the Aztec Empire is destined to be built. One day on a small island in the middle of a lake, while searching for this sign that had been mentioned by the god Huitzilopochtli, again, I probably butchered that, was seen, so the Aztec people, they had seen an eagle eating a snake on top of the nopal cactus while they're on a small island in the middle that was in the middle of a lake. And the Aztec people immediately stopped their search and settled in what is now Mexico City. Mexico has the second largest border and that is with the U.S. The largest border is the Canadian and U.S. border. Mexico's main religion is Christianity, primarily the Catholic faith. Mexico has the second largest amount of Catholics in the world. Just so that you can get a visual of what the nopal cactus looks like, here's a picture. Just a moment. Yeah, so this is the nopal cactus. So to me, it looks like a standard desert cactus that I would think of, but I did not know it was called the nopal cactus. And again, I might not be pronouncing that right. The pads of the nopal cactus, as you can see here, they are believed to have medicinal qualities, and they are edible, and they are called nopals. And the health benefits that the Mexican culture, I'm not sure if there's another culture that believes in these potential health benefits from eating the nopal cactus, but in the Mexican culture, they believe that if you eat the pad of a nopal cactus or nopal, it will help you get over your cold faster. It will soothe the cough, quicken the healing time if you have a boil on your skin, and it will soothe an upset stomach. Family is an extremely important aspect of the Mexican culture, as in the Mexican culture, there's a strong belief that family is forever. A holiday that is celebrated from midnight of I almost said Halloween, the midnight of October 31st, and it runs to November 2nd. This holiday is called Day of the Dead, and this holiday honors and celebrates loved ones that have passed away, and families welcome the spirits of their loved ones that are already in heaven to be reunited on earth for a short time. And this is a strong belief of the Mexican people. This ceremony provides food, drinks, and gifts that the loved ones would enjoyed during their time on earth. A party is also held to celebrate, which I think is amazing. There's, according to the belief of the Day of the Dead holiday and the traditions regarding the holiday, on October 31st at midnight, it is believed that the children that have passed on before their parents, their spirits attend return to earth for 24 hours So there is belief that the gates of heaven open at midnight on October 31st for children that have passed before their parents to be reunited with them once again on earth for 24 hours. And on November 2nd, it is believed that the gates of heaven open for adults to be reunited with their loved ones here on earth for 24 hours. So there is no difference other than the date regarding, excuse me, still nervous doing these videos. So there is no difference regarding the conditions between children and adults. The only difference is the date, where at midnight at October 31st, it's believed that children can return, and on November 2nd, it's believed that adults can return to Earth. Again, for 24 hours. It is believed in the Mexican culture that when a person has died, they go to the land of the dead first. So that belief is part of the belief of death and dying, and also it relates to the Day of the Dead, as family members will provide gifts and food to their departed loved ones as they feel that it will help them gain strength and courage. As when the belief is, when you're in the land of the dead, you're there for several years before going to heaven, and you must, and before that you can ascend into heaven, that you must complete 9 challenging stages that takes years to, or is believed to take years to complete. Homemade altars are built in the home, and these homemade altars are what is used during the Day of the Dead celebrations, and they're decorated with food and drinks that their loved ones liked while they're on Earth, and is also decorated with candles and any gifts that they believe will help them on their journey with completing the 9 stages. The official symbols for this holiday are skeletons and what's called a sugar skull. So because of these emblems, this holiday gets mistaken for Mexican Halloween, which it is not. And the rituals that are very similar to how practices of during the Day of the Dead are similar to are similar to rituals that Aztecs and other indigenous cultures have used for over 3,000 years. In Mexican culture, like I said, there's a strong belief that family is forever, and I really respect this, as I also feel very strongly about this. The importance that is shown and practiced in the Mexican culture of honoring and celebrating our ancestors and deceased loved ones through these Day of the Dead rituals. I found it very inspiring and heartwarming, and like I said, the gifts and food is provided on homemade altars within the home, but also in the on gravestones or at grave sites. Within Mexican culture, there is a strong sense of cultural pride. So, and that is a reoccurring theme, like family, that I discovered when doing research about the Mexican culture. And because of this cultural pride, when caring for a Mexican individual during our profession, I believe that that individual will become very excited when talking about their heritage, and will be more than happy to teach either myself or one of us more about their fascinating culture. Catholic faith is extremely important to this culture. Like I said before, Mexico has the second largest amount of individual practicing Catholics in the world. The largest amount is in Brazil. The belief that when a person has died, that they go to the land of the dead first is very different for me. It's a very different concept. Also, the belief that when the individual is in the land of the dead, they must complete 9 challenging levels that take years, or believed to take years to complete before they can go to heaven. This concept was very different and new to me as well. At both of these concepts conflict with my own personal beliefs on the afterlife, but it was fascinating all the same to learn a different perspective and a different insight in what potentially happens after death. In Mexican culture, there is a strong belief, like I said, that family is forever. I know I've said this a couple of times, but it's such a reoccurring theme, that I discovered in all the research that I was reading. And I really respect this, as I also, like I said, I also have the very strong belief that family is forever. And I really admire the importance of honoring and celebrating our ancestors and deceased loved ones, that it's demonstrated through the Mexican culture. That is something that is important to me as well. And excuse me. A potential challenge that I personally may experience when caring for Mexican individual is I may have a difficult time being able to comfort the minds of a palliative patient and their family, and put their minds at ease about their concerns about going to the land of the dead and enduring the 9 levels that are said to be challenging and to take years to complete. How I would accommodate for this is that, and how I would start on my path towards accommodating, is to learn everything I could about the beliefs of the land of the dead, and also the 9 stages, and what are they about, and how is believed that an individual could complete each level. And I would go into learning about these concepts with open minds and not have any pre-existing judgments. As I believe that if I was more knowledgeable about those topics, and if I had a better understanding of these beliefs, then I could have better then I could converse with the patient and their family much easier, and I could, with this deeper understanding, I could be able to put their mind at ease much easier, and being able to talk to someone who will listen, will be an active listener, and prove that they genuinely care while showing empathy and understanding their beliefs and cultural rituals and traditions when it comes to death and dying, even though it's different than my own beliefs and it's different than my own culture. Cultural competence is one of the essential components that is required for a healthcare professional to be able to provide ethical, competent care to the best of the healthcare professional or the individual's ability. So again, I'm so nervous. I don't think that really came out 100% straight. Cultural competence is one of the essential components that is required for a healthcare professional to be able to provide safe, ethical, and competent care to the best of an individual's ability by practicing cultural competence and cultural awareness for the patients and residents' beliefs, race, values, helps put their mind at ease, and will be one of the key components in establishing a strong foundation of a great nurse-patient relationship. A healthcare professional demonstrates cultural competence and cultural awareness in their daily practice will have a drastically higher chance of being able to quickly establish trust with their patient, or resident that they are providing care for. Because if you think about it, if you don't trust someone, you're not going to be open to telling them personal details or telling them much of anything. So, and we need our patients to be as not only to like feel comfortable, but to also establish that bond of trust with us, so that we can provide the best care possible, and it will help with our EdPi and our nursing assessments and reassessments. Practicing cultural competence and cultural awareness. The patient's or the resident's mind will be put more at ease, as well as they will be reassured that their individual cultural needs will be sufficiently met and their cultural diversity will be maintained. So that's the end of my presentation for today. Before I leave you guys, I want to show you what a sugar skull looks like, as I had mentioned it when I was talking about the symbols that represent the Day of the Dead holiday and celebration. So just give me a second and I'll show you that. This is what a sugar skull looks like. So now I hope that helps grasping the understanding of what that symbol looks like. Okay, well, thank you, and bye. Hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed researching this topic, as, like I said, I didn't know very much about the Mexican culture. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I didn't stumble over my words too much, as I'm still so nervous doing these. Okay, bye.